The god of war didn't conquer the goddess of love with a sword. He surrendered to her in a bed made of gold and betrayal. Imagine the most powerful, hypermasculine force in the universe, Ares, the bronze-clad butcher of armies, reduced to a whispering shadow, creeping through the marble halls of Olympus to reach a forbidden room. He wasn't looking for glory. He was looking for a reprieve from the blood. And Aphrodite, the perfect wife of the soot-stained Hephaestus, was waiting for him with a hunger that no wedding ring could starve. This wasn't just a fling. This was a collision of primal forces, the raw violence of the battlefield meeting the raw obsession of the bedroom. But they forgot one thing. The husband they were mocking was the greatest engineer in the history of existence. While Ares and Aphrodite were lost in each other, Hephaestus was in his dark workshop, weaving a trap so fine it was invisible to the divine eye, yet strong enough to hold a titan. Today, we're peeling back the silk curtains on the original tabloid scandal. We're looking at the moment the invincible god of war became a laughingstock, and why the affair of the ages ended with the entire pantheon standing around a bed, pointing and laughing at the naked truth of desire. This is the mystery of the bronze net, the day the gods learned that love doesn't just hurt, it humiliates.
Unveil the legends.
The chemistry between Ares and Aphrodite was biological inevitability. Ares was adrenaline. He was the spike in the pulse, the sweat on the brow, and the roar in the throat. Aphrodite was dopamine. She was the reward, the craving, and the madness that follows the strike. On Olympus, they were the outsiders. The other gods were civilized. They ruled over wisdom, agriculture, and law. But Ares and Aphrodite ruled over the things we can't control. They were the ID of the Greek soul. When they came together, it wasn't a romance. It was a superstorm. They met in the blind spots of the gods. They met while Hephaestus was pulled away to his forge on the island of Lemnos. Ares would shed his blood-stained armor at the door, leaving the monster behind to become a lover. This is the out-of-the-box mystery of their relationship. Ares, the most hated god on Olympus, was the only one who truly saw Aphrodite. He didn't want to own her like a trophy. He wanted to be consumed by her. But the sun-god, Helios, sees everything. From his golden chariot in the sky, he watched the god of war slip into the god of smithing's house, and Helios, being the ultimate snitch of the heavens, went straight to the forge to whisper the truth into Hephaestus's ear. Hephaestus didn't rage. He didn't grab his hammer and try to fight the god of war. He knew he would lose that physical battle. Instead, he used his cold intellect. He went to his anvil and began to beat out invisible bronze. He created a net made of links so small they were thinner than a spider's silk, yet forged with a gravity that even a god couldn't break. He draped this net over the pillars of his own bed, rigged to a hair-trigger mechanism. Then, he told his wife he was leaving for another trip to Lemnos. He played the fool to catch the foxes. The moment the door closed, Ares was there. They fell into the bed, and as the weight of their divine bodies settled, the click of the mechanism echoed through the room. In a flash, the bronze net dropped. It didn't just cover them, it shrunk around them, binding their limbs together in a tangled, embarrassing knot of arms and legs. Ares struggled, his mountain-moving muscles bulging against the wires, but the harder he fought, the deeper the bronze bit into his skin. They were frozen in the act of betrayal, a living statue of infidelity. The humiliation reached its peak when Hephaestus didn't just return home. He invited the audience. He threw open the doors to his palace and called out to the other gods, "Come and see the ridiculous sight. Come see how the lame one has caught the perfect ones." This was the ultimate slap in the face to Olympian dignity. Zeus, Poseidon, Hermes, and Apollo all gathered at the threshold of the bedroom. They didn't see a tragedy, they saw a comedy. The mystery of this scene is the laughter of the gods. The texts say, "The unquenchable laughter of the Olympians shook the foundations of the world." They mocked Ares for being outsmarted by a cripple. They mocked Aphrodite for being caught with a thug. Apollo turned to Hermes and asked, "Would you mind being bound in those chains if you could lie next to the golden Aphrodite?" And Hermes replied, "I would take triple the chains if I could have 1 hour in that bed." The scandal became a celebration of their own voyeurism. The dignity of the divine was stripped away, proving that even at the highest level of existence, drama is the ultimate currency. But why did Aphrodite stay with Ares after the net was cut? Why did this scandal solidify their bond instead of breaking it? Because shared shame is the strongest glue in the universe. Ares didn't leave her. He didn't blame her. He took the mockery and the exile to Thrace, and he waited for her. From this affair came the most interesting children in mythology: Phobos, fear; Deimos, terror; and Harmonia, harmony. This is the biological truth of the mystery. Harmony is the daughter of war and love. It suggests that the universe only stays in balance when these two violent forces are intertwined. You can't have peace without the capacity for war, and you can't have love without the risk of conflict. The scandal wasn't a mistake. It was a Genesis event. Hephaestus might have won the battle of the bedroom, but Ares and Aphrodite won the war for the human heart. They proved that passion is stronger than property, even when that property is guarded by the greatest security system ever built. Today, we look at the stars and see the planets Mars and Venus. They are still chasing each other across the sky, a permanent reminder of the affair that shook the heavens. The bronze net is gone, but the stigma remains. We still associate love with a battlefield and war with a tragic romance. The next time you hear a secret or see a headline about a fall from grace, remember the invisible net. Remember that the perfect people are often the most tangled. Aphrodite remains the queen of the scandal, and Ares remains her loyal soldier. The gods laughed, the husband schemed, but the lovers never truly repented. The laughter of Olympus still echoes in the wind, a reminder that the only thing more dangerous than a god's anger is a god's amusement. The bed is empty, the net is folded, but the fire between the sword and the rose is still burning at the center of the world.